hours of the regular show on terrestrial radio, and you wanted a little bit more, so that's why you found the Gun Talk After Show podcast, where we saved all the best things that we can't say on regular radio. Now here's Tom, Michelle, and Jim for the Gun Talk After Show.
It's the after show where we get together and talk about leftovers. I love leftovers.
Meatloaf, especially.
We have Tom and Jim. Hey, guys.
Hello.
You guys leftover fans?
Oh, yeah, meatloaf.
Meatloaf
and lasagna.
All right. Yeah, and spaghetti.
Right. Yeah.
Is it maybe it's a tomato thing? It gets better with time?
I don't know, something.
In my house, it was always the leftover stew. Everything got thrown into one pot.
Oh, there you go.
And
like a poor man's stew,
go.
Yeah.
There you go. Just kind of whatever it is, throw it in there. It'll be fine. If you don't like it, don't worry. You'll get hungry enough to eat it eventually.
If I
say, this kid won't eat this thing. Yeah, well, don't feed him. I guarantee you, eventually they'll eat it.
At some point, yeah.
At some point, yeah, exactly.
Well, we can share our exasperation after we talk to a couple callers here. But
okay.
If I keep drifting off mic today, it's because I'm still jumping up and down. Who do you want first, Tom?
I know. Let's see. Let's go Peter on 3 out of Pensacola. Hey, Peter, you made it into the after show.
Hi, Tom. I have a range report. I just went through the Appleseed project yesterday. It was a 2-day course, but feeling a little too sore and broke down to a 10 this morning.
Okay, so explain, if you would, for people who have never heard of it, what the Appleseed Project or Project Appleseed is.
All right, Project Appleseed is a basic rifleman's course, but it also infuses that with the history of the Minutemen and the need for having an armed citizenry. They are part of, I believe, once upon a time, there was something called the, April 19th Project, which was the day of the Battle of Lexington and Concord, the shots heard around the world, which is the time when the British Army actually took arms against and fired upon and killed British citizens, because we weren't Americans then. We were British citizens.
Right.
And this is telling how a ragtag group of farmers, shopkeepers, and tavern owners beat back the biggest, baddest, most ruthless, and well-trained, well-armed military in the world. And they were ruthless because the Americans had very few wounded from these skirmishes during that time, because if the British caught them, they killed them. They either shot them or they bayoneted them in the street as they passed by.
Mm-hmm.
So in the Battle of Lexington and Concord, in one specific battle, I was told the Americans had 8 wounded, and that's because they managed to get up and run away. Everybody else was killed by the British. Well,
and a point that is often missed is that Lexington and Concord, the shot heard around the world, the first shots of the American Revolution were done because the British were coming to confiscate guns and ammo. They were coming to get their ball and powder. So, I mean, gun control was the foundation of this country.
That's correct.
Or the battle against gun control, actually. So, anyway, all right. So what did you guys do in the Project Appleseed? What did they have you doing?
Well, we did a lot of basic shooting and sighting in. Now, I was an Army medic. I went through Army basic training, and then I went through additional training at Fort Sam Houston. My basic training was at Fort Leonard Wood, Missouri. My drill sergeants were Desert Storm veterans. Mm-hmm. But when it came to the riflery and marksman part, when we got to the range, I have to say we weren't taught much. At least we were told we were doing something wrong, and I heard that all day long. We weren't being told why it was wrong or how to correct it. And so even the simple things on how to hold the rifle, how to put your finger on the trigger, how to control your breathing. And at that time, we were being taught, take a deep breath, let it halfway out, then go ahead and squeeze. Right. Well, that halfway could vary from breath to breath. Mm-hmm. So the first couple of times, I couldn't get a 3-shot group to save my life. At least this time, I found out one thing. One, I don't shoot anywhere near as good as I like to believe I used to shoot. And second, there actually was something wrong with my sight. When I couldn't hit the paper after 4 or 5 evolutions, they had me shoot at a square in the lower level, and I finally was able to hit the top of the paper. So we discovered my sights were set way too hard. Okay. And then because I'm an older guy, let's just say that on some of the targets representing the farther ranges, well, first of all, in my defense, my glasses did slip, and I didn't wear glasses when I was in the Army. Mm-hmm. But those targets disappeared.
I'm familiar. You're going, wait, what? Where? What? It's like I've shot sporting clays where you call for the target and you wait, and then they go, yeah, it went by. You never saw it. Oh, I hate that. Well, that's wonderful. That is a great report. So you're a proponent, a fan of the Project Appleseed. Then, would you recommend somebody go to that to learn how to shoot?
Yes, because again, I was taught. I knew how to shoot before I got into the Army, but they didn't teach the basics here. They didn't teach the basics like they did in Project Appleseed. Like I said, even something as simple as not just how much of my finger to put on the trigger, but how to hold the rest of my hand to ensure that I did that consistently with each time. And I was never even taught, since I'm using iron sights on something as simple as a Ruger 1022, if you couldn't see it, how about you do the pumpkin on post? I've never heard of pumpkin on post before.
Okay. Well, so what you're describing is that there's just a whole lot of stuff there that you didn't even know existed, techniques that you've never been shown. And once you're shown them, you go, oh, I can actually shoot.
Right. And, of course, I've got lots of friends who shoot. I used to hang out at ranges. But, when you get to a certain age, especially for guys, telling somebody, I have no idea what you're talking about, isn't always easy.
Yeah, you're right.
Say, well, I don't know.
Yeah, it's hard to say. Look, you're saying things I don't even know what you're talking about. Well, look, I've got a scoot here, but that is a great range report. Project Appleseed. Peter's a fan and recommends it. Thank you, Peter. I appreciate that. Let's see, guys. I want to go down to Robert on line 1, Conway, Arkansas. Robert, thank you so much for your patience.
Hey, I got a question about my SIG AR-10.
Okay.
I've been told by gunsmiths and friends that build ARs that I cannot put a longer barrel on it. It's got a 16-inch barrel on it. I'd like to go out to a 20 or a 24-inch barrel. It's a piston gun, and they said it's just not possible without having one machined or gunsmith. Is there an aftermarket barrel that I can just slap into it?
I honestly don't know, but let me back up. Why do you want the longer barrel?
It's good out to 100, 150, 200 yards. I'm keeping a 3 or 4 inch group. I'm wanting the long shot. It's a 308. I think I can reach out to 400 or 500 yards easy with it.
Why would a longer barrel make that better?
I was always told that a longer barrel gives more twist on the bullet to, make it more accurate.
No. The longer barrel will do 0 for accuracy. Nothing. Really? Not a thing. In fact, a lot of bench rest guns, they go with a shorter barrel because it's easier to get them to shoot well.
Okay.
Yeah, no. You might get a slight increase in velocity, but you will not get an increase in accuracy by going to a longer barrel. In fact, it often works the opposite because you get harmonic vibrations out there with a longer barrel. I don't know if that rifle shoots well. Are you shooting it off of a bench, trying for accuracy? Because, you should be able to shoot really nice groups at 400 or 500 yards with that rifle with no problem whatsoever.
Well, my range only goes out to 200 yards where I'm at. So
all right, what size groups are you shooting at 200 yards?
I'm shooting about a 2 or 3 inch group at 200. But at 100 yards, I'm keyholing them.
Well, it's shooting minute of angle right now. So, if it's shooting, the minute of angle is 1 inch at 100 yards.
Right.
So that means it's going to be 2 inches at 200, 3 inches at 300, 4 inches at 400.
Okay.
That's just what it is, because you're basically shooting a cone. It's larger as you go further out. That rifle's shooting great.
Okay, here's my next question. I just encountered one of my friends has a Ruger precision rifle with a 24-inch barrel. Mm-hmm. I love that gun.
What caliber is it?
6.5 Creedmoor.
Yeah, buddy.
Do I need to get out from underneath this SIG and buy that, or I just need to keep the SIG and save my money? I know what you're going to say already, Tom.
You know what I'm going to say. All right, Jim, Tom, help me out here.
Have both.
You got it.
Yeah.
You got to have both, because those are two completely different guns. You've got an AR-10, a semi-automatic 308, which does one thing, and then you have a bolt-action 6.5 Creedmoor, which does a completely different thing. And yeah, the Ruger Precision Rifle will probably shoot half-inch groups, honestly. So it's going to cut your groups down, but it's not semi-auto and it's not 308, and it's great for what it does. But I would never consider one is a replacement for the other. Those are two different guns. And I got to tell you, man, if you've got an AR-10 that's shooting 1-inch groups, don't monkey with it. That is impressive. That is not bad at all.
All right, I appreciate it. Yeah, I got it built up. I got the muzzle brake, the mag pull stock on it. I got it fixed up. It's a beautiful gun.
Nice.
I was just thinking if I could put a longer barrel on it, maybe I could get more accuracy at a longer distance.
Does not work that way. Not at all. But the thing is, accuracy is just accuracy. If it's accurate at 100 yards, it's accurate further out, generally speaking. There's a technical thing where that might not be true. But if you're shooting, it's basically just a logarithmic. As you go 1 inch, it's 100 yards. It's 2 inches at 200 yards. And at 600 yards, it's going to be a 6-inch group. That's just the way it works. And a longer barrel isn't going to make it shoot more accurately. And in fact, it might go the other way. Again, your rifle's shooting well. Don't mess with it. But start saving your money because once you shoot the RPR, man, you're ruined. I'm telling you.
Yeah. I didn't get a chance to shoot it. Man, I love the way that gun looks.
Yeah, that's cool. Look, I appreciate the call and good luck. Just shoot more. That's the only deal. Just shoot more. Hey, guys, let's take a quick break, and when we come back, I know we've got some ground to cover with Kavanaugh and the events of the day and everything else. So we'll be right back with more After Show.
For more than 70 years, Timney Triggers has been enhancing the shooter's experience. Whether it's a local competition, a day at the range, or even the hunt of a lifetime. Setting the standard in aftermarket triggers, Timney is now producing more than 170 models of triggers for bolt-action rifles, shotguns, AR rifles, and semi-automatic rifles. Proudly made in the USA since 1946. Find your new trigger at TimneyTriggers.com.
Tired of searching the web for the best deals on guns, ammunition, and gear? Download the free Gun Dealio app today for deals and discounts right at your fingertips. Handguns, rifles, shotguns, ammo, optics, lasers, gun safes, targets, gun cleaners, grips, slings, and much, much more. Save money on products you want from the companies you love. New deals, discounts, and rebates added daily. Gun Dealio, available for free in the App Store and Google Play.
All right, we're back. Longer barrels. It's always funny because people say, well, longer barrel shoots farther. No, it doesn't. I mean, it might if you had a little bit more velocity. But, the thing is with a cartridge like a 308, 16-inch, once you go to 18 or 20 or 22-inch barrel, you might get a little bit more velocity, but not much.
Negligible, right.
It's just not much. And there are people who would, love to have a 308 semi-auto that shoots 1-inch groups, I got to tell you.
Oh, no doubt.
Pretty cool. So, guys, did you watch the debacle known as the Kavanaugh hearings?
Oh, in depth.
I just got highlights.
Yeah. You're probably better off having just gotten highlights. Because once I got in front of the TV, I just couldn't leave. It was kind of like, wow, this is amazing.
Yeah, I wanted to throw up, to be honest with you.
I just got madder and madder. I just, I guess you go through these stages where you're going, okay, I'm disgusted, I'm appalled, I am amazed, but you end up just going, okay, you people are despicable. And, Jim, you've known me for a long time. I never
You're
said
not
that
that
about
despicable.
anybody.
You're not that despicable.
Well, I work at it. I'm working at it. But seriously, that's just not something that comes out of my mouth generally.
Oh, no doubt. No doubt. I've known you for a while, and it's, I kind of like the conspiracy thing because I'm towards that way and you're not. And every once in a while something will be proven. I go, oh, see, Gresham? And it's kind of like that on this because...
Yeah.
I understood and I didn't disagree with what you're saying about if the pro-gun and the Democrat, consider it. I still kind of went, yeah. Mm-hmm. And to hear you turn it around today, I was like, all right, we're aligned. We are aligned again, yeah.
It's, it's the old deal of, yes, I know there are Democrats who are actually pretty good on guns.
Mm-hmm.
and I don't care anymore. I don't care, and I'm sorry, and that's as I say, if you are that person, then you need to change parties.
Well, it's like one caller pointed out, he had a senator who was good on gun legislation, but when it came time to vote for the Supreme Court justices, he was on the wrong side.
Well, exactly. And that's kind of the real point, Tom, is that they may even be good on guns, but they are going to be a clone for Pelosi and Schumer and Feinstein on the big issues. They're going to be told what to do. And the only way to fight that is to not give Schumer, Pelosi, and Feinstein any more troops to work with.
Yeah. What I didn't understand is the Alaskan rep who just voted present because the other guy couldn't be there, et cetera. I didn't understand that because had she voted against Kavanaugh, then Pence would have had to been the tiebreaker, no?
Yeah. That was an accommodation that they make for each other occasionally. They say, okay, I absolutely have to be gone, and I'm going to be a vote this way. We know, and they only do this when they say, we know you're not going to win. Okay?
All right, it makes no difference, therefore.
You can't make a difference. So will you do this for me? I need to not be there. Will you vote present to allow me to go attend my daughter's wedding? And that was actually a kind thing for Lisa Murkowski to do. And they do that, and I get that. It made no difference. There was no way she could have made a difference because, as you say, you're correct. If she had voted no, then Pence would have come in and broken the tie.
Right. But you think that would have given the libs at least a little leverage. And see, the American people are undecided, and it's all down to Pence. It's up to him. He made, I don't know. I guess I just see a couple different ways on how they could have played it. But it doesn't matter.
Now, the vote was 50-48, right?
Was it 50-48 or?
Yes.
So there were two votes.
Yeah,
where was the other one? Where's that?
Well, the two held out. The guy that wasn't there for his daughter's wedding and his fellow senator, those two held out. But it would have been a tie. It would have been 51-49.
Right. If he had been there and she had voted, then it would have been
51-49.
Still would have been 51-49.
And they wouldn't have needed Pence. So my whole thing is just shot down.
Yeah.
Disregard.
Okay, so never mind. Disregard. Never mind.
Yeah.
Made me wonder how many times in history has it ever happened that the vice president had to cast a deciding vote? Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Well, I don't know about for
not necessarily just
justice.
For justice.
Oh yeah, for a lot of other. Oh yeah, a lot of other things. I think
a lot of bills.
I want to go back. It was I think the Clinton crime bill was a 50-50 split, and was it Al Gore?
It would have been Al Gore. Yeah.
Yeah, who voted to break the tie. Yeah.
Huh.
So, yeah, I mean, there have been a lot of important, at least a number of important pieces of legislation where the tie had to be broken. And guns was one of them. So, yeah.
Okay.
It's important. Well, here's the question. First of all, can we win? Can we hold the House and the Senate in the midterms? I think we can definitely hold the Senate, and I'm not sure about the House. And of course, they're saying, well, if the Democrats win the House, and they're saying it, we're going to impeach Donald Trump.
Right.
I want to remind people about something. You remember Bill Clinton was impeached.
Right.
Yep. Did he leave? No.
No, impeachment does not mean you're out of office.
Yeah, it's a blanket term people throw out.
It's you get impeached by a majority vote in the House, but to be removed from office, you need 2/3 vote out of the Senate.
Which isn't going to happen.
That's not going to happen.
Right. So you can impeach him, put a black mark. See, we impeached him. He's still your president.
Bill Clinton wears that as a mark of pride.
Badge of honor, yeah.
Kind of like a stain on a dress. I mean, did I say that?
Oh. And Tom Henning, to answer your question, 264 times prior has the vice president had to cast a deciding vote.
Okay.
36 vice presidents.
More often than I would have thought.
Well, 36 vice presidents, about 9 times each, it looks like.
Interesting. Okay.
Average, yeah.
The internet is incredible. You can know everything.
No, I just
and
made
it's
that up.
always right.
Yeah, I just made that number up.
Oh, good. So you're Google. I'm sorry. I got it.
Yeah, I'm Snopes. Jim Snopes Kenzie.
Jim Snopes. That's me.
Yeah,
exactly.
Let me give you the answer I want.
Can I change public opinion with this to go to where I want it to be? Then I will switch the answer around just a little bit, just enough. Just to doctor it a little bit. Not that anybody at Google has ever done something like that.
No.
or that Facebook would fudge the algorithm so that you only see the things that they want you to see so that you become a better, more socially sensitive person.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you really want to freak yourself out. Leave your MacBook open or your laptop open and talk about something ridiculous, like fleas on your dog, and just mention it 2 or 3 times throughout the day. And then watch what happens when you go to your search engines and flea. Not that you shop for flea products, but yeah.
Right.
So don't tell me.
You're not paranoid if it's actually happening.
Right. So if us conspiracy guys are proved right, does that mean everybody else is the whack job? I'm thinking.
Ooh.
I'm thinking.
That's, you know what that sounds like? It sounds like a conspiracy.
It does, doesn't it? Check
It's
with
a
Alex Jones
conspiracy
and see what he has
inside
to
of a
say.
conspiracy. Yeah, that's right. Let me get my tinfoil hat out here. Hello, I'm
right.
Milo.
That's right.
I love our Milo spot, by the
cool.
way. It is. It's just fun. So, all right. This is going to be fascinating because it has been interesting. I had a flashback today. Not, no, I never did drugs, but I was thinking about, okay, for people who say it's never been like this before, I said, no, actually, right now, today, has a certain feel to it politically. And what it feels like to me is 1968. The Democratic Convention in Chicago, the riots in the streets, cities are burning, people are losing their minds, they're screaming and hollering. To a certain extent, it feels like 1968. When they are literally yesterday, people are scratching and clawing at the front door of the Supreme Court building to get in as he's being sworn in.
Yeah, that was
people are crazy.
Yeah.
These people are crazy. When they say, okay, you should, and when our elected leaders are saying, you should find people who work in this administration when they're out dining with their family, when they have their kids with them, and scream at them and run them out so that they are not welcome anywhere in public. We have lost our minds. Yep. And if you cannot engage somebody and present your ideas and try to persuade them, understanding that people of good faith can have a different idea than you do and think we should do something differently, and you get together and you talk about it. If you're reduced to, I will now destroy you because you have different ideas, I don't know how you get together. I actually don't know how the Republic functions with that kind of thinking.
Well, it doesn't, and then it spirals from there. You had talked about a friend of yours who no longer wants to communicate with anybody who's not like-minded. I actually can relate to that because from what I saw I watched every bit of the trial, I'll call it, the confirmation hearings. It was a trial as far as I'm concerned. But I watched every minute of it, and I'm just, wow, if your people really think that this guy got a fair shake and he just skated and just walked away, I don't know if we have any common ground on anything, because if that is really your reasoning, you're unhinged. And how can you be stable on other topics when you're that far off on this? So I kind of get where she's coming from, opposite side, obviously, but I get the frustration of, why do I want to communicate with you about anything? You're that far out in left field. You're not attuned to reality.
And yet we have a number of shared interests, and we can talk about a lot of other things. I mean, and I have friends where I say, we're just not going to talk about those things because we're not going to agree.
That's because both parties are adults there.
That's a good way to approach it.
But the idea that if this concept of women must be believed, I understand it to be a reaction, some would say an overreaction to women not being believed in the past. I get that, and I'm sure that's certainly true. And I absolutely know that sexual assault is underreported.
Right.
And yet, from a logical standpoint, when you say people who make accusations should be believed because they make the accusation, on the face of it, defies logic, doesn't it?
Have you ever heard of To Kill a Mockingbird?
I was just going to mention that. You talked about that earlier.
Really.
Yeah.
Tequila Mockingbird. That's a good drink.
No.
No.
Falsely accusing. Come on.
Yes, exactly right. Boo Radley. Yep. So there you go.
Well, and the other thing is, like, if you just instantly believe, first of all, the legal system would be crazy, because I would just say, hey, you did something inappropriate to me years ago, and now you're, all your business competitors would be gone. Anybody you felt like reporting would be gone. And the thing I think also people are looking at is you've got to believe a woman when she's accused. Well, what about a young boy? Young boys get molested all the time, too.
Mm-hmm.
And so, but we're only going to believe women. And I know I'm stretching their concept, but believe all women.
Sometimes that's how you expose the breakdown of the logic, is to take
idiocy,
it to a logical conclusion. Yeah.
Right, and that's basically what they're saying is because I make the accusation, let's just assume it's true until we prove otherwise. That's a total flip on our whole judicial system.
And I had a friend who posted something about, we need to elect more women so that their voices are heard. So I asked him if he'd vote for Sarah Palin.
Oh, nice.
And?
Yeah, got a typical liberal response to that, but I won't say it out loud.
Oh, he name called you. Gotcha.
He name called her, but
okay. Well, as long as there's a name call in there, it counts.
She's kind of hinting that she might run against Lisa Murkowski in 2020.
Oh. That would be cool.
That would be interesting.
I actually like Sarah. I think
Tom, was it you I heard that had a couple of Democrats that you know were flipping?
Some people that I knew in high school. I can't remember who the other one was, but one was a girl that I knew in high school. It was a upperclassman when I was a freshman, lifelong Democrat. She said, last year I switched. She said, I'm coming out of the closet. I'll admit it. I switched to Republican last year.
Oh, okay. I thought she just switched. Well, that's great.
Did she say what it was that motivated her to do it?
And she did not.
Interesting.
But not the only one. I think there was one other person recently that I knew in high school that was a lifelong Democrat that says they're not voting Democrat anymore.
Well, see, the other thing there, too, I see is if you're a lifelong Democrat and you're just, hey, I'm a lifelong Democrat, I don't care, I'm dyed in the wool, but you still have a conscience and you still see the despicable behavior of your constituents, etc. Why not just not vote? You don't have to switch to Republican. Don't vote.
There's plenty of those out there, too.
We'd rather have you, but if you're not going to come on board, okay, just don't vote D down the line just because you always have. Have a conscience.
Well, go back to, of course, you are in the part of the country where unions have been a really important part of the upper Midwest for a long time. And a lot of folks with a union background, union families, simply voted Democrat no matter what. We're a straight D family.
Right.
And I'm thinking that a lot of that's changing.
It has, yeah.
Well, look at Pennsylvania in 2016. It was close, but...
Yeah.
And Michigan.
Yep. Yeah. Exactly right. Fascinating.
Okay, let's not talk about unions and come back after break, talk about guns.
Yeah, we could talk about the 300 Blackout for hunting. And it's got another range report on that. Pretty cool.
The .45 Auto, also known as the 1911, is the standard other defensive pistols are measured against. No matter what pistol you carry, techniques developed around the 1911 are vital. You know you need training, and you know your concealed carry class definitely was not training. Now Gun Talk presents an exciting DVD, Fighting with the 1911 with Tiger McKee. Tiger's unique training style will have you drawing, moving, shooting, and running your gun better, no matter what style pistol you prefer. At ShopGunTalk.com, you can order our DVDs of Tiger's instruction. ShopGunTalk.com also has a 2-DVD set, including Concealed Carry 1. Get both for the information you know you need. This really is life and death. ShopGunTalk.com has DVDs, books, and other essential gear. ShopGunTalk.com. That's ShopGunTalk.com.
All right, I mentioned I had a range report. This is from a Ryan, not Ryan Gresham, just a listener. He says, I wanted to give you a quick hunting range report on a 300 Blackout rifle. Last year, I bought some new property to hunt. It's about 60 acres. I previously hunted much larger areas, and I used my favorite rifle, a .270 Winchester, with much success. As you said before, if I could see it, I could hit it. While this new property has some opportunities for up to 300-yard shots, I didn't think that was such a good idea. I want to be sure of any shot I take that will be in the dirt within my property boundaries. So he says I started looking at less flat shooting rifles. I have a .45-70 that would probably fill the role, but I thought I'd use the excuse for a new rifle. Hey,
I like this
our
guy.
kind of guy, right?
Yeah.
Hey, I could buy something. So he said, I bought an inexpensive Brownells 300 Blackout upper. Let's see. I'm skipping ahead because it kind of goes on. I really like the cartridge, low recoil noise, wide bullet selection. So he ended up decided he would get a bolt gun. He got a Ruger American Ranch rifle that takes the AR mags, shooting the Barnes 110 grain TAC-X ammunition for whitetail and hogs. He sighted in an inch high at 100 yards. He says that puts him an inch low at 150. We had an early antlerless season last weekend. I took the rifle out. I took a nice doe at 75 yards with a quartering away shot, which is kind of a demanding shot on a bullet. And 300 Blackout's not a very powerful cartridge. Said she went about 20 yards. The bullet did not pass through. It went all the way through all the vitals and lodged in the opposite shoulder. I will be using it for the regular firearms season. He says, overall, I'm really impressed with the rifle and the round. So there's a range report on the 300 Blackout for deer hunting. Cool.
Cool. Would have never thought to use one of those for that, but
it's 30 caliber. It is probably 30-30-ish.
Yeah, I was going to say. And then when he mentioned there's a 2-inch drop, that extra 50 yards, that made me think, okay, well, that's probably why.
Yeah, you think of a 30-30, you'd think of it as probably a 150-yard realistically.
Yeah.
And I think a 300 Blackout probably works well there. The key is using good bullets. He used the Barnes 110 grain TAC-TX. That's good ammo. There are a number of companies making good bullets now for the Blackout because you don't have a lot of velocity there. That's the whole deal.
Right.
So I think that's pretty cool. I think there are some states where it's legal to hunt with a suppressor. Now, these loads are not subsonic. You have to go to like the 200 grain, 200 even higher, bigger bullets to slow down in the Blackout for them to be slow enough to be subsonic. But I do like the idea of a suppressed rifle for hunting. Just seems more attuned to nature.
Oh,
yeah.
Just like suppressed in general.
Just for whatever, right?
Yeah.
Well, I don't want to disturb the squirrels and the butterflies,
In other words, you want to be able to get your second shot off.
Well, that too. That too. Suppressors are cool, though. I can't wait to get back up to our place in Idaho, do a little bit more suppressed 22 shooting. That's just, God.
Well, I see more suppressed 22s coming out, integral suppressed, so you don't have to go through all the rigmarole.
Now, you still have to do the $200 tax.
Right, but you're buying it all set to go and right out of the box.
Exactly. Now, the flip side of that, you could argue the other way is, but if you have a screw-on suppressor, then you can put it on a number of different guns.
Right, but then you got a screw-on suppressor and you're shooting 22, that's all you can put it on. If you get a 30 cal, you can put it on 20 and still get some reduction, decent reduction.
I'm not understanding. Why would you want to have fewer suppressors?
I wouldn't. Only an idiot would want that.
I'm just completely confused here. Oh, gosh.
I'm just going to suppress the lever. I don't care what it looks like. Dork gun.
Really?
No. Not at all.
I have seen it. People have put suppressors on lever actions.
You go can on it.
Well, now think about this, too. Because it's a lever action, which is a fixed bolt, fixed breech. It's not a semi-auto.
Right.
If you had a subsonic round, it would be really quiet.
Ooh. Because there's no
click.
Yeah, there's
no action. It's not opening up. No gas is coming out the back. You're not hearing an action flopping back and forth. All right, so what would be a cool easily suppressed round? 38 special. Certainly you could do that. 32, yep. 327 Federal with the 32 rounds.
Yep.
Could have some fun with that. I don't know of anybody loading a suppressed, or rather a subsonic 30-30 round.
Right.
I mean,
you got to admit, it's going to look dorky as hell.
Oh, heavens, yes. Yes. You're going to look like the goofball of all goofballs out there with the big old can hanging off of your John Wayne rifle.
I like it.
I mean.
That's part of the appeal.
But you know what? If he had one, John Wayne would have used one.
Well, sure.
So there you go.
Dude, why'd you do that, Jim? Well, because nobody else has it or would want it.
Well, sometimes when you look at it and say, this has never been done before, The truth of it is it actually has. Everybody rejected the idea.
Right, and there's a reason why.
There's a reason you're not seeing it out there. Oh, gosh. So, fun stuff. Well, we're coming up on the season for buying guns, which would be like every other season.
I thought that
which
was
is the
12
season
months a
for
year, but
buying
okay.
guns.
Yeah.
Yes, it is. But I did throw out the teaser. There will be new guns announced this week, and I would encourage people to go check out our Facebook page, the Gun Talk Media Facebook page, because we're going to have actual videos of them there in the news when they come out. I was able to shoot some recently, and yes, it probably doesn't surprise you. I want them.
Oh, gee.
I want them.
That's revolutionary.
I know. Cool stuff. I mean, it's every time you think, well, they've done everything they can do.
Except
and there's somebody tinkering back there going, well, what if? I love the what ifs.
Yeah.
What if we took this gun and we chambered it for that cartridge? Oh.
So now necessity has taken a back seat. Curiosity is the mother of invention nowadays.
Well, yeah, we have everything we need.
Mm-hmm.
We just don't have everything we want, which is pretty much going to be forever.
Oh, something else we should want is to stay on the forefront of this decision for this appointment and confirmation of Kavanaugh, because we live in a news cycle where, you know, this is a terrible event. Oh, my God, there's been a school shooting. It's 2 days later, it's something else, and everybody forgets about the school shooting.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm really concerned that conservatives now are fired up, but in 4 weeks they're going, yeah, well, that was a while ago.
I wondered, yeah, you know, that is a concern. And I know that the left will be able to gin their folks up because they can keep them at a fever pitch.
Yep.
Part of it is that this is where probably it's not fair, but I've always said that they really like to group together because they need the validation because they're not sure of their feelings.
Okay.
We don't give a damn what other people think about us, or we don't need confirmation, and so we don't tend to join or group or march or cluster, and it actually makes conservatives a lot harder to rally to the cause.
Right, I agree with that. I think it puts us at a disadvantage. But we're on the leading edge now, and if you're a keyboard warrior out there and at the risk of driving all your friends crazy for the next 4 weeks, tough. Stick with it. Drive the point home. Even if you're stirring the pot, you got to keep it on the forefront. Otherwise, people get lazy and they forget and complacent. Like, yeah, we'll probably win. No big deal. And we got the Supreme Court, so does it really matter? Yeah.
Well, we have. I think we have a 4-4-1 in the Supreme Court. We don't have a 5-4.
Yeah.
We have 4.5. And by keeping control of the Senate in this midterm, particularly the Senate, we will preserve the possibility of getting yet another Supreme Court justice. Don't know what Ginsburg's going to do, but it could be anybody. Anybody could decide to
somebody could have a car
retire
wreck or something.
Stuff happens. I mean, somebody could get sick. Somebody could just decide, I'm done. I'm tired of this foolishness. I mean, pretty much nobody ever does that because it's a lifetime gig, and they do retire, by the way, at 100% of their pay.
Right. Tough gig.
Yeah, really.
So you probably don't want to get in on the Ginsburg office pool thing we're doing here?
Not playing it. No, sir. I do not wish anybody any bad health or ill will or anything else.
I want her to just keep her word and retire is all I want.
If she would like to retire, I would send her a present. I would send her a card.
She said if Kavanaugh gets confirmed, she'll retire.
Did she?
Yeah. Now, like Rosie and Whoopi are supposed to be
they were going to leave the country
right now, right?
Yeah, really. I never heard anybody on the right say if something gets passed or if this happens or I'm going to leave the country because we love our country. But you hear the folks on the left say that all the time. I mean, they never do. I mean, maybe with the exception, you have to go back to Charlie Chaplin, All right, gents. Well, we have wrapped up another week here. Let's see here. I'm here next week. I'm trying to figure out. Oh, yeah. And then the following week, I go to Pittsburgh for the NASGW show, National Association of Sporting Goods Wholesalers, where there will be even more new products revealed, some of which I'll be able to talk about, some which I won't, but I'm always out there trying to beat the bushes and find out what's going on.
Sweet.
Be fun stuff. All right. Spread the word. Keep the votes going.
Yep.
Thank you, Jim. Thank you, Tom.
Yeah, thanks, Tom. Be good.
Well, that wraps up another Gun Talk After Show. But if you want even more gun-related stuff, don't forget to check out Gun Dealio. It's the app for Apple and Android phones that connects you to all the Gun Talk shows, plus even more. And we'll catch you next time for the Gun Talk After Show.